If you were an animal in the wild, which animal do you think you'd be?
I would probably go for the owl.
Really?
Yeah, because she has a different view of she can take in the whole world up there with her flying around. So I think that probably the owl.
That's such a smart answer. I was like something dumb like I'd be a bear. Like, hello everyone, welcome to Into the Wild. I am your host, Ndanu Mutisya, and today I'm here with
Bob Barnett.
And what are we here today to talk about?
Critters.
Ooh, where?
Critters in the wild.
Oh my God, there's critters in the wild. We're into the wild. There's so many wild things happening. Let's rock. All right, so describe your show in 3 words.
It started with a bear.
Bear, okay.
Yeah. My husband and I, Eric, we have a house out in the woods in northwest New Jersey. And one day when I was driving home, I came around the corner, and in the middle of the road was a big black bear with her cub. So I stopped and let her cross the road. And then she, as I was starting to leave, she kind of stopped and turned back to me and gave me her whole profile. So I saw just how big she was. And that kind of got me started thinking about, every once in a while in life, there are things that kind of change the way you look at the world or the way you look at something. Mm-hmm. And I would say most of my work up to the bear had been very almost based on photos, photorealistic or whatever. And so I got back to the studio and was thinking about her and the way that she kind of filled my entire frame of vision through the window. So I started doing some paintings, playing around with proportions and shape and sizes. And it was very different from my previous work. And so I was actually a little afraid to let Eric come down and take a look. But I brought him down and said, "What do you think?" And he said, "I like this. This is great." And then what happened was it prompted him to go off and write a scene between a bear and a doe around another incident that had happened on the hillside behind our house. And so what is developed is right now we have like 14 paintings, which are all here, and also a full-length play, which revolves around 6 female characters, all critters in the wild. And they deal with everyday issues, life, death, joy, sadness, but it's all about their lives kind of in the woods, which is kind of where we live. So that's what has developed over the last couple of years. And so these paintings are different scenes that kind of work with the storyline of the play.
So I'm hearing bear. Mm-hmm. I'm hearing woods.
Right.
I'm hearing life.
Yep.
Okay, work. Okay, so you talked a little bit about this already, but describe your process. I think what I'm hearing is very visual and...
Right, it's visual, very textural. My work is basically all encaustic wax based. And encaustic wax is you work it hot. It's basically beeswax that has a hardener into it, so when it dries, then it's a harder surface. But the thing I like about the wax is you can incorporate other materials with it. You can build it up in layers, and then you can glaze on top of it. So it gives you a whole range of options for materials. And so I found it was really helpful with these, like the fox, which is right above your head, has a very, I could play with it and develop the texture of her fur. So that's kind of my process. It's just building up layers and textures.
How does nature inspire you?
Well, the nature inspires us because of these critters that live around us. And I think a friend of ours came to see the show the other day and said it in a way that I hadn't thought of it. What we're doing is kind of inviting you to kind of step into their world and kind of become, see what their life is like. I think everything I do is basically inspired from from the nature environment. So,
If you were an animal in the wild, which animal do you think you'd be?
I would probably go for the owl.
Really?
Yeah, because she has a different view of she can take in the whole world up there with her flying around. So I think that probably the owl.
That's such a smart answer. I was like something dumb, like I'd be a bear. Like, what artists inspire you?
I'm a big fan of John Walker, who is a painter that works mostly up in Maine. His textures and colors speak a lot to me, so I think he's one of my favorites. There was a painter, Jake Bertol, who was, I think, a Lower East Side artist for a number of years and then moved upstate New York. Does a lot with trees and nature. And the third, probably any of the Impressionists, Van Gogh, Monet, Manet. I mean, all of them kind of deal with texture and application of paint. And so I think probably that group of painters.
Do you have a favorite painting that you've ever made?
I think one of my favorites is the bear outside my window on a snowy night. She's kind of the one that started a lot of this whole process. But and the thing I like about it is it's really leaves it open to the viewer as to what's going on. Some people see a stormy night, some people see a snowstorm, some people see houses in the background, others have said it looks like a graveyard. So it really kind of is a mystical environment that just lets the viewer step into it and create their own world.
I know that you're also a scenic artist.
Right.
How does that influence and inform your work as a studio artist?
It's like you said. I spent 35 years as a member of United Scenic Artists 829, and we do film, TV sets. And I think for a number of years, for most of my career, I've helped other artists bring their visions to life. So I think in the last few years, what's happened as I've kind of backed away from the day-to-day scenic work is been able to explore my own visions and stuff. And I learned a lot about materials and composition and stuff from other designers just coming in. And I think the biggest thing I bring in is the materials and learning how to work with layers and giving the paintings a little more depth. And I think that's probably the biggest thing that I brought in from the scenic world, is that stockpile or wealth of materials knowledge. So.
I noticed your work uses cardboard. What influenced or inspired that decision?
That kind of came out of a workshop that I took up in Kingston, New York with Encaustics. I like the cardboard as a base for the texture that it can give me, because when the wax starts absorbing into the cardboard, it pulls out the various substructures of the cardboard. And the way I manipulate it with either tools or irons or sandpaper, I can pull out different line qualities from the cardboard, and then I can layer on top of that. I think if you notice in the one of the owl paintings, a large part of her feathers is actually the understructure of the cardboard coming through to kind of define her body. So, and then the whole thing with the cardboard too is it kind of takes it back to a bit of a folk art world. And I think I pull a lot from outsider artist work, and I don't know. To me, the cardboard sort of gives it that feeling of kind of the outsider art world.
We are thankful for you for letting us share it with the world.
So this has been great. Everyone here has been just so accommodating and welcoming, and it's great. I mean, it's just a wonderful space to show in.
We try. This has been Into the Wild. Thank you so much. Have a great day.